Deion Sanders, of course, to all the coaches, the staff, and last but not least, to the young kings who shocked the world from the University of Colorado. Man, this is personal for me too. It's personal because I saw Coach Prime fighting for his life. I saw Coach Prime in the hospital. And to see him where he is right now, this thing is real personal. It's also personal for me because when I was not too much younger than you guys, I was on my way to jail or to the grave prematurely. I was living in a way that was contrary to everything I had been taught. And God changed my life when I was 16 years old. I started to preach when I was 17 years old. By the time I was 19, God gave me a church. Listen, God had me pastoring a church my sophomore year in college while I was in Atlanta, Georgia. It's funny because God calls some people while they're young because they're great people. Second, God calls some people while they're young because he knows if he doesn't get them when they're young, he's going to lose them. God called me when I was young because he knew if he didn't call me when I was young, I was a fool. He was going to lose me. And yet at 19, when I started to preach and started to pastor, nobody in my family, very few people rather in my family, believed I was qualified. They told me, go to school, do something different. Nobody will ever believe you. You never have credibility. I got my first church at 19, and people in my family said within 3 months, those folk will get rid of him. But I want y'all to know, those 3 months have now turned into 33 years. You know why? Because I took it personally. Took it personally to believe that it doesn't matter even if your family or friends don't believe in you. If God gives you a purpose, you live by that purpose. And if it's not in your vision, don't put it on your calendar and don't put it on your spirit. So this week, it's personal. What's personal for you? If you missed assignments last week, make it personal. Get it right this time. If you didn't play last week the way you want to play, or as much as you want to play, make it personal this week and participate in practice. If you didn't play at all, make it personal and make a contribution from the sideline. God has not given anybody everything, but he's also giving everybody something. What's personal for you? Believe that even when the world turns and set back and everybody's predicting your downfall, make it personal and realize that God before you, who can be against you? I'll be rooting you guys this week. Make it personal. Forget the pundits, forget the haters, forget the naysayers, forget the critics. You can excel. 33 years later, the same folk who told me I wouldn't make it, now have to watch me do what God called me to do. This thing is personal. Go succeed. Go Buffs. Let's do it.
What's up, fellas? I want to start by saying, sometimes when you're in certain situations, you don't really realize the magnitude of it. Because this is a game, because you've been doing this all your lives, sometimes it seems like this is just second nature. It's what you do. And while it is what you do, what you've done, I want you to understand that the entire world is on notice. This is not an ordinary season. This is not an ordinary team. So whatever you've done to get to this point, you got to raise your level and your level of expectation and your energy, because this is an entirely different level. What Coach Prime, what the coaching staff has done here is changed the game for the rest of college athletics. Everybody in the country wants to be you guys. There are some who left prematurely. There are some who wanted to come but was unsure and didn't come, and now they wish they came. You are the chosen ones. You're the ones that God allowed to stay at this time to make history, to do something that your kids and your grandkids are going to talk about. What you're seeing happening now, you'll never see it again in your lifetime. Don't take this moment for granted. You know, on tomorrow, football, when I play football, I love offense. I love the symmetry between the quarterback, running backs. They have what they call timing plays. When the quarterback would get on the center, take a 3, 5, or 7 step drop, the wide receivers or split ends or tight ends that would go out, check with the line of scrimmage to make sure that they onside. The job of the receiver was to run the routes that had been called in a huddle. The job of the quarterback was to drop back in 3, 5, or 7-step drop. The job of the line was to block. And across from that wide receiver is a defensive end, a defensive back, whose job is to try to stop you from getting to your place. The job of the receiver is to shake off what's in front of him. Don't get distracted by what's on the sidelines. Get to your spot. And the job of the quarterback is to throw that ball to a spot. On tomorrow, when Shador, whether it's Dylan, whether it's Travis, whether it's Xavier, whether it's Jimmy, or Savion, or Smoke, it represents something that's metaphorical but spiritual for all of us. God is our heavenly quarterback. And he's dropping back to a 3, 5, or 7-step drop. Your responsibility is to get on the line of scrimmage, to not pay attention to all the distractions, whether it be girls, folk back home, social media. Get to the spot. You get to the spot, your job then is to lift up your hands. If you lift up your hands, the ball is already going to be there. Question is, do you know your assignment? Some of your spots may be special teams. Some of your spots may be offense, defense, second team. Some of your spots just going to be to cheer the rest of your team on. But if you don't do your role well, then the team won't be victorious. Close by saying this. There was a time when a circus was traveling, and a monkey escaped from the train that carried the circus. When the monkey escaped, his tail got caught in the train track, and he was able to dislodge himself. The train went by, but the monkey didn't want to leave without getting his tail. So he went back trying to get the piece of tail, and was so preoccupied with getting the piece of tail, he didn't realize that another train was coming. The train was coming, hit the monkey, and took the monkey's head off. In other words, the monkey lost his head trying to get a piece of tail. My question today is, what's trying to take your head? Social media, girls, distractors, haters, critics. Put your head in the game and don't let nothing distract you. And whatever you do, don't lose your head trying to get a piece of tail. Let's go do it tomorrow.
Pastor,
Yes, sir.
I know it means a lot for him to have you here. Talk about your feelings being here to support him.
Man, let me be honest with you, man. September 2021, they called me to come to the hospital in Jackson. I flew from Atlanta to get to Jackson. He had just come out of surgery. They were talking about him possibly losing his life and his leg. September 2021, his life was on the line. I was right there with him. He was incoherent, he was out. He didn't know I was there. Fast forward 22 years, September 2023, here he is now, following his dreams, doing something that we've never seen done before. Man, it warms my heart, man. Shows you how good God is. It's time. It's prime time.